Ukraine. Let's really remember what happened in Ukraine. Joe Biden was president. Russia was making noise, saying that they were going to, and they did, were moving some troops, moving some equipment into the borders of Ukraine. Joe Biden said it was a minor incursion. No worries, nothing to see there. It was that weakness that created the mess and the war, the horrible tragedy that exists now. It was the weakness of a president who didn't deal with an issue head on. That happened before. It happened when President Trump was the president in the previous administration before Biden, and he absolutely made it clear, you do that and you got big trouble on your hands. Mideast, Iran, we empowered Iran, literally, which is the evil empire. Empowered it, catered to it, did anything we could to cajole, didn't do anything to stand up to it and tell them they better damn well cut it out, unfroze their assets. So now we ended up with a war in the Mideast, a weak administration and a weak president. And then we talk about fact-checking. That was the other thing that came up. Let me tell you, somebody's facts over there in reality are censorship. And whatever you say, everybody should have an equal voice and everybody should be heard. I got to tell you, man, I just remember from things I've said, meetings I've been at, speeches I've given, when it's covered by some of the legacy media, it's just not what you hear and it's not what you see. Because the reality that the legacy media, CBS, NBC, ABC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, they're not telling it as it is. You're not getting both sides. So of course, when you have a press corps in the White House, you want to give a chance to some of those who never get heard, other than Americans are thirsting to hear the truth. Why the hell do you think people aren't watching ABC, CBS, NBC, and reading these newspapers anymore? Because they know it wasn't the truth. They know it wasn't the real deal. They know they weren't hearing the real story. And you know what? It even applies to things that we know from the good work that was done in this committee. Remember Russian collusion? Man, I remember Russian collusion all over the media. Every TV station, they all had the same script. The newspapers, they all had the same script. The magazines, whatever media it was. And it wasn't true. The damn thing wasn't true. But when it came out in an objective report, the Durham report, that it wasn't true, somehow you never heard about that. It was never heard. It was crickets, man. Nobody talked about it. The truth is that the FBI paid a guy, Igor Danchenko, a bad international actor, hundreds of thousands of dollars to lie. He did his job. He lied. He did his job before the election. And then, of course, now admits that he lied. And the FBI is embarrassed and apologized. But you don't hear that. Boy, we don't hear it. You don't hear it now. You didn't hear it then. So, of course, we want to have other voices in the White House. You want to hear it all. You want to hear the conservatives. You want to hear the liberals. You want to hear the middle-of-the-roaders. Fact-checking. Hey, you know, fact-checking, how come there wasn't fact-checking when the 51 former Intel officers said that the laptop was non-existent? There was no such thing. Man, that was all over the news. I remember watching TV, reading, seeing it everywhere, hearing it everywhere. 51 former Intel officers said that it wasn't true. And damn it, it was true. And COVID, in some cases, and you know what? I'm one of the few, there's a few of us here that sit up. I was trained in medicine. I'm a dentist. Went to 9 years of school, including a residency. A lot of what happened in COVID was wrong. The way we dealt with it is wrong. Our children have still been held back that should have been in school during those years was wrong. Some of the treatments were wrong. That it came from a wet wheat meat market in Wuhan was wrong. It was a lie. Fact-checking, man, real fact-checking, I guess, would be a good thing. But let the people decide. Let them hear both points of view. Let them hear the debate like we're doing today. And then let them make their mind up. And you know why? That's why Americans more than ever, they're looking at podcasts, they're getting online, they're looking at X, they're looking at whatever it is, liberal, conservative, everything in between, because they know What was supposed to be truthful, what was supposed to be fact, indeed was often fiction and was a lie. And they're tired of it, and everybody should be tired of it. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Question occurs on the amendment.